Talk about driving and arriving to the Airbnb, because that was
insane.
Yeah, out of everything, I feel like that's the one we should hype on and tell the audience about, because that was insane.
Bro, I've seen this video, and then there's like another guy, he's actually pulling down his pants. Yo, you know the thing about Instagram? It's such a stressful app.
Why?
And the
reason you're flagrant, he still won't come up. It's incredible. And he has 2.4 million followers.
Wow. Even the predictive search shows
doesn't come up. First off, hello and welcome to Hustle Over Everything podcast. This is the podcast we receive stories, tips, and tactics from entrepreneurs who have done it.
Yes, sir.
Today, we have a wild card. A wild card is a time where we just hang out and chill. You know,
just relax.
Just relax.
Kick back.
All that stuff. So, and catch up with each other, because we haven't talked to y'all in a minute, just us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Kicking it. So, first off, we haven't even told them about Philly. You know, let's tell them about our Philly trip, because that was a lot.
It was a lot. There was a lot that went down.
Where
the Philly trip was Afros and Audio's conference, and you know, it was David, Chid from
But What Do I Know podcast.
So she pulled up Shirley, Black Canadian Creators.
Yep, Chernobyl Network.
Exactly. And David from Those Who Came Before Us podcast.
Yep.
Right? A podcast highlighting Black history, and phenomenal show. So we all went down to Philly together, and we all stayed in the Airbnb. And
now talk about driving and arriving to the Airbnb, because that was insane. Yeah, out of everything, I feel like that's the one we should hype on and tell the audience about, because that was insane.
So we're in the car. David's driving. Alex is at the front. I'm at the back. And, you know, we're just following directions to this Airbnb. So prior to that, Alex had made these reservations. We're looking at the images. They look clean. It's an amazing house. We're like, amazing, great. Al, great job. Good job on booking this. You got our backs. Thank you. So we're driving in Philly, and if you've never been to Philly, the roads are very narrow, and it's a very industrial city. That's why they call it a blue collar town. And we arrived to this overpass area, and it's looking like very run down. A lot of the buildings are shut down. Everything is boarded up, very dirty. It looks like you're walking towards like a dangerous part of the city. We get there. We're under the overpass. There's a light underneath it. And we're like, why is there a light underneath here? It looks like there's like homeless people living around here. Tells us to turn right.
Word. I'm think The Wire.
The Wire, man. Perfect
Baltimore.
example. We turn the car, and I'm like, bro, Al, are you sure this is the right place? Are you sure we just didn't get finessed? And then it tells us turn right again. So before we turn right, we're looking straight ahead. We're like, how is there an Airbnb in this area? So for Toronto listeners, think about the Gardner, or think about Lakeshore underneath the Gardner, that area where homeless people are always chilling.
Yep.
We're driving underneath that, let's say that road where homeless people are living. That was a road by itself.
Yep.
And we're turning, and then we get to this rundown neighborhood. But in the midst of everything all looking shabby, there are these townhouses just built straight down in the middle in this area. Crazy. And I'm like, okay. And then funny thing is, the next day, there's like, it's a gentrified area, by the way. It's like a very gentrified area. There's like a homeless guy walking. And then to contrast that, you see this one young white mom with a dog and a kid just rolling around.
Yeah.
Just to contrast that in itself, we're like, bro, this is crazy, bro. The gentrification in that neighborhood was at an all-time high.
It was insane. Honestly, y'all were looking at me like, what the hell? Where the hell did y'all book? Where the hell did you book, Alex?
Yeah.
And then you're like, you walk in like, ooh, it's actually pretty good. It's like 4 stories.
4 stories.
Had a jacuzzi on top.
Everyone had their own room.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Everyone had a spacious space.
Yeah, it was a good booking.
I didn't
you're like, you know what? This is kind of nice. You're chilling on the couch, leaning back, watching
NBA highlights, everything. And then we also made some friends next door.
Oh yeah,
that was crazy.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're such a outgoing guy. I have to give you your credit for that, because you went in and you're like, hey, let's meet the neighbors.
Yeah.
Let's see. They look like they're having a party over there. Let's see what's popping.
So what happened is, like, when we got there, The next day we're going to the conference. I saw like a young group of people coming in and out. I'm like, oh, okay. Because before we actually got in the car, they got in the car first to go to their ends. Well, like, okay, sick. There's some young people in there. We do our thing in the conference on Saturday. We come back. We got our liquor. We got the food and everything. Now we're thinking about what's our motive for the night. Like, do we go out? Do we want to spend money? Do we just want to have an intimate night in? Just all of 5 of us just drinking and chatting it up. We started doing that. We started playing games. We're like, man, there's some people next door who I know want to like party, whatever.
We're hearing them all night.
We're hearing them all night.
Gallivanting. We're like, what the heck?
100%. So me being the bold one out of everyone in terms of making this move, I'm like, guys, I think we should go next door and see if they want to hang out. And Shirley, Chid, David, Alex, you guys are like, yo, in Philly, this isn't safe. I don't think this is the right thing for us to do. I'm like, guys, come on. What's the worst thing that could happen? You guys are like, have you seen this neighborhood we live in? They might think we're like people who are just coming robbing or whatever. I'm like, guys, relax. Like, we're Canadian. They're not going to think like that. So I go knock to the door. And I hear them partying, bro. They don't even come to the door. They just stop the music. It goes silent for 5 minutes. I knock again, nothing. So they did not want to open the door because they think, like, from the optics of the neighborhood, they're thinking, Rod, this isn't the best time to open this door. It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. There's no way we're doing this. We come back again. I come back with Chid. Nothing happens again. Alex gets this idea. He's like, how about we create a video and we airdrop it to them? The most genius idea ever. I thought it wasn't going to work, but we make this video. Alex points the camera towards everybody. You're like, hey, everybody, we're here from Toronto. We just heard you next door. Thought we could like all join together and have a party. Everyone says, hey, what's up? I'm like, Alex, I'm Owen, da 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 da. We let it go in the ether of airdrop. 20 minutes later, we get a knock on the door. We stopped the drama. We're like,
because we're like, shoot, who's knocking
the door, right? Yo, we open the door. I think 9 of them all pull up inside to the crib.
Yeah, and they don't even like ask. They just walk.
They just walk in. They just bring the liquor. They bring the juice. They bring everything. And it was a great party. We made a lot of great friends. Had a great time, man. And it's one of the best trips ever, honestly. It's just so serendipitous.
That's a fact. That's a fact. It was a good night.
It was a good night.
I think we had a good time.
What was the biggest highlight of your time in Philly?
That's a good. What was the biggest highlight of our time in Philly? I feel like the conference, actually. We should definitely give a highlight to the conference.
Shout out to Talib Jassia, exactly.
The conference was really cool. Meeting some of the other podcasters was really cool. Our own speaking engagement. That was our first speaking engagement.
First speaking engagement at the belt. Man.
Word. We need to post that content, by the way.
I posted it. I posted everything because I had to take out the files from the SD card.
Yeah.
So I had to upload everything. So everything's ready to go. It just needs to be edited.
Got you. Even the Talib interview?
We still got to get that from bro. No, we still have the audio for it, but we don't have the video from the guy who you said you had the contact with.
The video. Oh, you know, probably on one of my hard drives.
So you got, because he
sent it to
he sent it to you, eh?
Yeah, so I got the hard drive.
Yeah.
Because I think I bought my big boy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Your Wi-Fi router.
Exactly. It definitely looks like
yo, guys, Kristen got Alex for, I think, was it your birthday?
Yeah.
Got him a hard drive, but it looks like a Wi-Fi router.
It looks huge. It's ridiculous.
Was it like 1 terabyte?
2 terabytes. No, 4 terabytes.
Yeah,
it's a big boy.
Because your computer is like, it takes a beating, bro.
Yeah.
Like a lot of files. You got Wit, you got Hustle stuff there, you got Upload Studio stuff now there.
Yeah. Well, no, not there. That's another.
It's another thing. Okay, got you.
But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into some topics, yo. Let's talk some shit. First off, you're back on the gram.
My goodness, man.
How's that been for you?
Yo, you know the thing about Instagram? It's such a stressful app.
Why?
And the reason I actually got off IG is, and I think I told you this, but for everyone listening, I champion other people, right? I like to see people do well. I like, especially in our space, in the creative space, but you always find yourself just comparing subconsciously. And when you see other people who are doing their thing, it's as if you're in a race with time and you're in a race with where you think you should be with other people. So for example, if I look at another person who's successful in business and let's say we got started at the same time and they're like maybe 10 steps ahead of me, and I know eventually I'll get there, but you start feeling like, damn, I got to do something different just to showcase that I'm in this space. That's one thing. The second thing is that you find yourself overstimulating yourself with everybody's lives. There's always constant updates. So it takes away the element of surprise. Like when I see you and I want to actually have a conversation and understand what you've been up to. But if I'm seeing everything on your stories all the time, I can't even talk to you and understand like what's really going on just from you, because I feel like I already know what's going on. So I find that when you're on social media, it's like a mediator of your relationship. For example, if I see you post something and I react to it, to that person, it can be masked as an interaction I had with Owen today. But it did not actually mean I actually picked up the phone call and actually set up a conversation or an in-meeting person. So I found out when I actually got off of it, all that fluff of thinking about these things was gone, and I can actually just live in solitude and do what I do best. So now when I come back, it's strictly just for promoting and building the brand, especially when we had Matt Barnes. I was like, you know what? I got to show this proud moment of the milestone of what we achieved with the podcast. I just can't let it sit there and not use this as a celebratory moment and just showcase people what we've done. So I got back, and I've been really using it as a way just to post clips, the artistry of like creating a podcast, like some photos of just me celebrating my birthday. It's fun for now, but I know I'm gonna get back to that point where I was at, where I had to deactivate it. Yeah. Would you ever deactivate IG?
For sure. If I wasn't an entrepreneur and listening to social media, as in like studying it to be up on what's working and what's not working, I'd definitely be off of it.
Really? Because it seems like you enjoy it. You enjoy the platform a lot.
Nah, bro. I study it while enjoying it. I think studying it goes to enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? You spend so much time in it, you start to enjoy it. And then after that, I then use those things. Like I'm on TikTok a lot now because I have to study the app because I'm doing ads for it. So because of that, I'm watching everything and I'm seeing how inside jokes on TikTok come to be, and because of that, I'm like, okay, this is funny. I see how they're bringing things up. Yeah. So like, for instance, I used to watch Fresh and Fit to study how they're building their podcast up, to see that, they're doing super chats. They're doing this as a way of...
They're doing lives.
As a business model. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. They're giving it to academics for his podcast. They're giving it to people for her podcast. So there's a multiple revenue streams that they're building for their show. So, there's when you are seeing people that are ahead of you or, building their platform on social media, it's good to study what they're doing. So that in turn makes you study their content so you can enjoy it and become a fan of it as well. So that's kind of like the balance, Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very, so being on social, it's a gift and a curse. Yeah. Right. If you're not really using it for a definite end towards building a career or actually building a business, it could be detrimental to your actual mental health. For sure. And a lot of people don't really understand this because the idea of comparison and the idea of communication and the levels of dopamine you get from being gratified from, okay, I've amassed a lot of followers. Oh, someone followed me and someone unfollowed me. It's like, yo, I know that guy. Like, we met the other day and you unfollow me. And then when you see them, it's like a beef thing on site. Like, it's just kind of like, wow, you can't believe you unfollowed me or whatever. I felt like that too, because I'm like, yo, I thought we had a great connection and now you don't want anything to do with me. But then you realize that social media does not really dictate what your true relationship is. Some people have different social media habits or whatever. You're like, oh, yo, that person didn't view my story. Like, why is that? Or they never interact with any of our content. And especially in the podcast stuff too, I'm like, man, you tell me the podcast is hot, but you never share it. So what matters? Is it the love you give me in person, or is it the social big up that you're sharing it? So what matters to people? So you got to understand what matters as to you personally on social media, or the stuff that you actually get in real life, because the social stuff, 24 hours, it's gone, and it's in the abyss of the social whatever post that was posted. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. It's just like, I post a story, someone doesn't even watch it. They probably just click next.
Yeah, you never know if people are actually engaging with it or just like tapping through.
So you think you think people are seeing it, but they didn't see it.
Would you rather 2 people to engage with you in real life and be like, hey, I really like your podcast, or 1,000 people reshare it on social?
I'd rather the people tell me in person, I like your podcast, because what that tells me is that the level of impact it took for them, the level of impact the podcast had on them, for them to tell me that means a lot. Because it goes back to what I was telling you this week when we were doing our meeting. Do you want fans or do you want viewers? There are 1,000 people. I don't know if they're viewers or fans. I don't even know if they're going to come back and watch the next show. Did the 3 episodes we did with a celebrity, you came and watched it and now you're gone, but you're not going to come with me and Alex and just hear us talk? 3 people are going to listen to us. Alex and Owen, Matt Barnes, and Alex and Owen. And then you have another entrepreneur who's local. They're going to watch everything. So that matters to me because I know like it creates impact. I'd rather have 100 core listeners than just fleeting fans.
Yeah. Stephen Bartlett had something similar to that. He was saying like when he was on Facebook, creating content, he was getting millions and millions of views because Facebook naturally shares your post out at the time to a lot of people.
The algorithm was like it was just so giving to everyone. It was like TikTok right now.
Exactly. And he used to get millions of views, and then he started the podcast that he has now, Diary of a CEO, and he's getting intimate views, intimate viewership. You know, people are coming up to him like, yo, that podcast is amazing. I love what you're doing. And that is like the difference for him, you know? And I completely agree too, bro. Like having people come up to you in real life and say, yo, I appreciate what you do is a game changer.
And you've gotten that recently of late.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't happened in a minute, but I don't go out like that. I'll be inside chilling or working out. And that it feels good. It's a difference maker for sure. Yeah. Most definitely, bro. And speaking of which, bro, have you seen what TikTok is doing with this heating thing?
What are they doing?
So, it just came out on Forbes. Take this in, bro. So basically what they're doing is, let me read the article.
Heating up.
If you were to guess what heating is, what do you think it means?
I feel like it's like a heat check. You know, when like a hooper is rolling and they're getting buckets.
So how would that apply to TikTok? Like,
so imagine, let's say you got like a view from a notable account. Okay. As like this person interacted, they shared with it. Okay, whoa, like this guy's scoring, like this post is scoring with the biggest account. Okay, let me move it to the next big account. And then you score that bucket with that next big account. So it gives it to like, let's say maybe not individuals, but pockets of audiences. So, pocket 1, you scored 3 there, or pocket 2 of an audience, you did this, and then it hits every pocket of an audience. And then now it's like doing a heat check, right? So let's say you got 10 in a row from like all these different audiences. They like the content. Now it's thinking, okay, let's keep feeding this guy the ball. And let's see if this video keeps going and going and going and going until it drops off. So that's why I'm thinking it's a heat check. So it's like, give me the ball and move because it's my time to shine right now with this post.
Interesting take.
I love that take, man. I love the hoop analogy.
It was close, but it wasn't.
It wasn't that? Oh my God.
You thought you had it, didn't you?
I thought I had it in the bag, bro. All right. I think with the algorithm, the pockets of the audiences and yada, yada, yada. So what is it?
So TikTok's secret heating button can make anyone go viral. So it's literally a button to go viral. So for years, TikTok has described its powerful For You page as personalized feed ranked by an algorithm that predicts your interest based on what you swipe or not swipe. Okay. But the actuality is there's a manual person making people go viral.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What?
So, and I found that very interesting too. And what I thought was interesting is I was listening to someone that talked about an interview from the TikTok CEO. And he was saying, as a social media CEO, one of the things that we do is we treat the company like a state and not a company. And as a state, they choose who good citizens are. So it molds the platform and they make people go viral to focus on that. Like when you're on TikTok, do you notice that you see a lot of this audio is trending? this is the new trending audio. It's because they're heeding that so everyone can do more of the trending audio. So people are realizing that and they're continuously doing that so they can go viral and get that as a higher rank.
Man, you know, I don't like that at all. I hate that. You know why, man? Because if there's someone dictating what goes viral, it's so unfair to creators. Because I look at individuals like us, like we work so hard on our content. We put so much work in our videos. And then someone doesn't think that's hot because they want to dictate the platform. So essentially, you are removing the whole town square aspect where everyone deserves to be heard and everyone decides what is hot and what's not. But then there's like a dictatorship, like looking above everyone. You know what? You deserve some love today. You deserve some love. But what is love to them? They have an agenda, what they decide, what's going to be hot. But there might be a group of people who like what we have to say, but they're not going to see that because someone is dictating the thing. So what's the incentive for me to come in there and create something unless it's in your agenda of creating? So that's why when I see a lot of people on TikTok, I'm seeing a lot of raunchy stuff. And let's say I just signed up for a new TikTok account. I'm seeing a lot of naked girls. I'm seeing a lot of girls who are very like suggestive in the way they're moving or dancing or the way they're dressed, very skimpy, right? And this, of course, gets hotter because people are sex sells on any platform. So I just don't like that at all, man. You know what I mean? I want it to be like Twitter is if you retweet me and someone on your timeline sees the tweet, like, yo, I agree with what Alex retweeted in Owen's tweet. And then the tweet just does its thing. But to decide what you're going to make content go viral, like creators should just stop and then just give me the agenda of the week. Hey guys, we want this kind of content and then make this kind of content. And you're not even a creator. You're just a producer for a company then, just like Kick Rocks. Am I making sense, bro?
You're making perfect sense, bro. And I agree with you 100%.
What do you like that hot heat check thing?
You know what it is? I booked Academics actually low-key exposed it, and I was like, oh, what the hell? So he was on his pod, and he was like, yo, TikTok reached out to me to join their platform because you know Academics is huge on Instagram, right? So he creates a TikTok, and it's nothing crazy. It's just him like talking some shit, and it gets millions of views. Just
any random topic, he's just talking.
A little chill video.
Wow.
And then he's like, as time went on, I said something, and I could tell that it was out of what they wanted me to say. And from that point on, the views just tanked. And I was like, oh, so there's someone behind this pulling strings, right? And this with someone that's experienced in social media, other companies do it too.
Even Twitter? Twitter.
I'm not sure about Twitter because I don't really advertise on Twitter, but with Facebook, there's definitely that.
Yeah.
You know, because I've seen other accounts that are more, you know, that's what I'm looking for, more unsafe for advertisers. For instance, I used to do advertising for a cannabis company. And when I would type in the cannabis company, it wouldn't show up. So what they were doing is they would stop indexing a lot of companies so they wouldn't be able to get visibility easily because it's a cannabis or something that's unsafe for brands. Another one's Andrew Schultz. Right now, take out your phone and Google Andrew and search Andrew Schultz on Instagram. See if he comes up.
Andrew Schultz on IG?
Yeah.
Okay.
See if it comes up.
Andrew. What if I follow him already?
If you unfollow him then. Are you following him?
Oh, I can't even see him.
It's not there.
What happened?
He's shadow banned. Schultz is shadow banned.
Even if I let me search up flagrant.
Just search up flagrant, he still won't come up. It's incredible. And he has 2.4 million followers.
Wow. Even the predictive search shows.
Doesn't come up. He's specifically shadow banned because, you know, he's flagrant.
Are you kidding me, bro?
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So and what they do is that what they call it is indexing. It's not indexed properly. So if you were to report, oh, sorry, there was an index error on your shit.
And has he spoken about this, by the way?
I think he mentioned it once or twice. But that's just what happens. So what they'll do is they won't index it so they can't find you as easily. So what I had to do, bro, I had to find like a hashtag of Schultz and then find someone who tagged him and then find his page. That's how long it was to find them. I was like, damn.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
That is... I don't like swearing. It's so out of character. I know. But just for me, I know like this, we whisper in the pod, but like I have a habit. I don't like swearing.
Yeah, what the frick?
What the frick? You want me? Can you do an impression of me swearing?
What the frick, man?
What the frick, man?
Oh my.
But bro, it's so. What's the point of being a creator, man? You know what I'm saying?
To garner audience. And the thing is that you can still garner audience. And what I noticed is that it's playing within their game. Like right now, there's a guy on TikTok that's going crazy.
Keith. He's a Keith?
Keith. He's going, and if you see that, it's very TikTok friendly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's reviewing small businesses.
He's giving love.
Giving love, bro. Amazing content. I love his content.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I duetted one of his TikToks and went viral.
Wait, how many views do you get? Like
200,000.
Bro.
Off one thing. You know what I was thinking, bro? We gotta duet him when we drop the Chatter Ball.
Yeah.
We gotta duet his stuff.
We gotta do it, bro.
Yeah.
And you know the thing, I was kind of realizing, if you notice our TikTok, we're like stalled at the 200.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a ceiling. There's a firmament on our account.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are we stuck? Because, man, remember we used to get 5,000, 10K views. Even with Jasmine Lee one time, we got 80K views in one clip.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what gives? Man, this social media game, it's so demoralizing, honestly.
Yeah.
It's so demoralizing. Like, what's the incentive to pull up if you don't even have a chance?
At the same time, though, like maybe going viral shouldn't be the goal, you know?
But, you know, I'm not saying going viral. I'm saying respectable views. Like, a respectable view to me is 5,000 plus.
Mm-hmm.
That shows it was interesting enough to get 5,000 people to actually maybe stop for 5 to 6 seconds to watch what you got to say.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not even giving that chance, people are just going to stop creating and just going to be watchers. Mm-hmm. Maybe they want that. They just want you to watch people, the interesting stuff. They just slice in the ads in there. Maybe not everyone deserves to be seen. Maybe let me go against my argument. Not everyone deserves a shot.
But and here's the thing, though. Think about this. If a Chinese company has a heating button, how are they pulling those strings? Like, if they're choosing what goes viral and what doesn't, they're literally plucking the media of the country and the most popular thing in the country.
They're actually controlling what's hot.
They're literally controlling, literally Geppetto controlling.
Bro. And we're, you know, the thing is, people like you who can notice this and actually dissect it. And then there's people who just watch TikTok and going about their lives. And they don't even know what's going on. Oh, okay, that's hot right now. And before they know it, they've been indoctrinated with so much content that's within an agenda. They start thinking, talking, and viewing life the way they've been watching it on social media every day.
That's a fact.
Because think about it. I'm on the TTC. I'm on the subway. I'm, let's say, walking the dog. I'm in the toilet. What am I watching? I'm on IG. If I'm let's say you're having an awkward moment in a chat, you pull up your phone and watch something. It's something that's been placed there for you to consume and think about.
That's a fact. Like, girls weren't saying it's giving 5 years ago.
Man, can you share this it's giving thing? Like, what is this?
Girls have never been saying. I never heard that it's giving till like
giving.
2-3 years ago.
It's
now,
giving energy.
It's giving vibes. Every 30 seconds you're hearing a girl say it's giving, and it's like spread like a virus among like every girl 16 to 35.
Yeah, it's giving like it's giving me whatever small.
It's giving broke.
Yeah,
it's giving pick me. It's you know what I'm saying. This is how you know I'm taking.
My skin just crawls, bro. You know you're around your girl all the time, bro.
All the time.
So you're hearing all these lingos,
bro. The other day I walked out of my house, looked up and said, "It's giving rain," and I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my, I'm gonna kill." No, man, yo,
it's giving rain, dude.
It's giving rain,
bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's whack of you to say, bro. I just cannot see you saying it's giving. Like, imagine, guys, if you know Alex, man, if you see him in person, he's very like stoic. He looks sometimes he might look at you mean, but trust me, he's a good guy. And then he says something like it's giving. You'd be like, you should not be saying such a term. Like, really, like, this big guy just saying it's giving. Maybe softens you a little bit.
Softens me a little bit. Makes me a little bit more approachable. It's glasses for vocabulary.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Where speaking of TikTok, though, there's a video I want to show you. I want to get a reaction to this.
Show me.
All right, here you go.
Explain why anyone would work harder if we're all paid the same. Who's going to live in the mansions? Who's going to create anything for no reward? Hello, I'm so glad you asked. As someone who runs a business where everybody is paid equally, I think I am answer a question for you. The vibes are good, and we all like each other, and we don't want anybody to die. But the mansions will all just become public spaces. We can all use the mansions whenever we want. The reward is being happy, having food, having shelter, and having a good life where you build community with your peers.
Wow.
I hope that clears up all of your questions. Thank you so much for your time.
Yo, what the hell? No, that is the worst idea ever.
So yeah, let's talk about this. It's an interesting concept. She's basically an anti-capitalist company.
Everyone's paid the same.
Everyone's paid the same, and everyone lives off the same wages. Same thing.
No, you cannot survive like that.
Break it down.
You need a level of order and structure. There needs to be merit. And this podcast is brought to you by Nyorai Cellars. If you didn't know, Nyorai Cellars is the only Black-owned wine company in Canada. Right now, I'm holding the rosé, the 2021 rosé bottle. This drink is amazing. I mean, it's perfect for those dishes such as seafood, where you're cooking shrimp, you're having some pasta, whatever it is you're having. Grab a bottle of Nyorai Cellars, the rosé. If you're having a date night with your significant other, you know what to grab. Grab the Nyorai. Whatever it is, grab the Nyorai. I mean, you will not go wrong with this wine. It's perfect for everybody. If you've never drank wine, this is a great bottle for you. Or even if you're a wine expert, you're an aficionado and you drink everything, I mean, you cannot go in Nyorai. I'm telling you, this wine is really, really good. And even though I'm boosting it this hard, is because I really love drinking it. And I'm someone who loves to drink wine. So whatever it is, whatever the special occasion, check out Nyorai. They have Sauvignon Blancs. They have Rieslings. I'm holding the rosé right now. They have a wide variety of different collections of different wines you can choose from. Make sure to check them out. The link is going to be in the description. Check them out. Order a crate for yourself, or you can send a gift to someone that you want to gift some wine to. You can't go wrong with that. So Nyorai Cellars, check them out. Link will be in the description. And now back to the show. The level of merit is tied to competence, right? So for example, if I'm making 100K, it's because I'm competent to do this job better than you do it, better than anyone else. So if someone who is more competent on a job and then someone else isn't, and yet we're still getting paid the same, like what's the point of that? If I'm the CEO of a company and the janitor is making the same as me, but I have more responsibility above everybody else, how's that fair? So I am responsible for all of you. I have the burden of making decisions. I have the burden of making plans, and I have the burden of decision to making sure that you have a job at the end of the day, but yet I'm still earning as much as you. Mm-hmm. Really? No way. No, there's no such thing like this kind of model would exist, because you're stripping down incentive to do things better.
But why? How is that stripping down incentive? Because they're already getting paid well. Like, it's not, because the reason why you do things better is to get paid more. Yeah. But if you're getting paid at a level that you're already comfortable at, let's say I'm an editor, and instead of an editor getting paid $20 an hour, I'm getting paid $50. All I gotta do is deliver every time.
But why? But if you're an editor and I'm an editor, I want to get more money as an editor.
Why?
Because I feel like my skills might be better than yours to actually garner more payments.
Why do you need to be better?
Because my edits are sharper, they are cleaner, they actually get more attention from other people. Let's say this is actually a real thing. They actually are better because they perform better, but yet I'm still getting paid the same as you. It doesn't make sense. So so you're putting a level to skill. You'd be like, okay, I just have to be good enough to be able just to get in. As soon as I'm in, I don't have to do anything.
No, who says you don't have to do anything? You have to do your job.
You have to do your job. But let's say this. You're on a court, let's say the NBA.
Okay.
You have all these players, 400 of the best players in the world. You got Kevin Durant, you got LeBron, everything. These guys are bringing in the most money in the game. But then the bench is paid the same as the best guy everyone's here to see.
Got you. So I think that's a false equivalency, because a team where people are actually performing in a sport where it's entertainment is different than the actual company, where people are assigning roles that just add to the company. It's a little bit different. Whereas a team, everyone's developing their own and scoring in specific buckets. So that is different than an actual.
So in this example, this lady is saying we're all doing the same role.
No, we're all doing
different roles.
Different roles in the same company.
Okay, but we're all getting paid the same.
All getting paid the same.
It just does. That is. I'm so pissed, bro, because. Why,
let's go.
Why am I paid the same as you? Why did I go to school? Why did I
to make a living?
To make a living, but to make the best living as I can.
Yeah.
Let's say you're making the same as me, but I got 2 kids, I got a whatever, and I want to make more money to take care of my family.
Get a side hustle.
But why am I getting a side hustle when my market value says this is how much I am, but at this company, you're paying me the same as everybody?
But remember, she's paying above market rate.
But above market rate might be something where I deserve to be paid like this, because I look at an organization and I'm looking at what's your value to this company. And even though the market rate for a marketer is 90,000, but based on your experience and what you've done, you deserve 130. But yet I'm being stuck here just because you're saying everyone's got to be paid fairly. Mm-hmm. It just strips down the motivation for everyone to produce great work.
No, because we're all getting paid at a very healthy wage to go home and live a great life. Why want to produce great work? So
the thing here is,
like for instance, if I'm a marketer and let's say the average salary for a marketer is 90,000, and I'm making 130 as a marketer, I'm great. I'm coming in and I'm doing a great job every time. Why would I be incentivized to do a bad job if I'm getting paid more than my worth?
I think this kind of thinking, it throws off the equilibrium of the market. Because think about it like this. If everyone, let's say another company starts doing this.
Okay.
All right. So now you have all these hodgepodge of companies where the salary is let's say 130 here. Okay, you're paying 130 there. Hey, come here for 135. Right? So essentially, even though you're normalizing everything, now you have companies competing to go to 135.
That's fantastic.
Right?
As an employee.
As an employee mindset, right? So now you're still going to come back to a competitive field of actually competing with another company. So now instead of doing that, that company that's doing this might be like, okay, I'm going to pay you 150 now. So now you've really overinflated the market for a role that doesn't even deserve to be paying that, just to pay everyone equally. So that's why it's actually better to pay the top tier girls and guys what their true value is, and the entry level people, pay them entry level salaries, because there's a way of keeping things in equilibrium in the market. And if you don't do that, then you're messing up the entire state of it, because now it's like a house, right? If you're saying this house is worth this, but you know the market value is that, not every house, because of that house is expensive, house B, C, D are all going to sell for the same price.
No, they go up.
Exactly.
They go up in price. That's what I'm saying. So like, if a house is performing at a specific rate, it should, every house on that block gets that rate.
That's a great point. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You got me there. But I'm just saying this, bro. Like, that ideology of like keeping it company to company, and then you're paying me the same as this other guy, well, I know like my true value is more than what the market value says it is.
Remember though, she's paying above market rate.
Okay, how much above market rate is she paying?
All right, so for the sake of the argument, let's say she's paying 30% above market rate. So the average salary is 100,000. She's paying 130.
Okay, so everyone, all 10 members are getting paid 130.
All right, and we're back.
So I was saying, bro, like if you are paying everyone the same, you're messing up the entire market. I'm a person who believes in everyone getting paid what their value is. If I'm a top tier CEO and I've been in the game for 20 years, I deserve to be paid that much on the market, because my experience, my tenure, my accolades and achievement of doing what I've done in history deserves to be compensated for that. You as a photographer or editor, you are charging premium price because of what you can do in 10 minutes. So someone asks you, hey, like, why are you charging that much? And it just took you 10 minutes. Well, you're paying me for the 15 years of work it took me to get to this level. So that person gets into this lady's company, right? Now he's like accomplishing work faster than everyone. It gets to a point like where it's not even the money anymore. It's more about, can I go somewhere that's going to pay me more for what I've been doing these past couple of years, right? I want to get the backlog of money that I can get in the market for my experience that I've had. Yeah, the 130 is cool. It's above market rate. But you need to get me back for all those years I spent in school, those internships we were talking about earlier today about like, what was that one question you asked Selena and Thomas?
What's your most hated quote?
Like when someone tells a creative, right? So you tell a creative this, like, well, are you getting above market rate here? Well, like, yeah, I'm getting above market rate, but I can go outside in the market and make more based on what I know, right? So now you're going to have people like that. You cannot retain talent in an organization that pays everyone the same, because there's going to be a lot of resentment towards what you're doing with other people and treating me the same when they're just kind of new in the game and I'm been in here. But even though I'll get more than market rate, people are going to leave regardless.
Let them quit. If they don't feel like they can get more, then as in with any company, if you feel like you're getting below your market rate, then quit. Then someone else can fill that role. I
just like the idea of working hard, right? I'm a very old school thinker. Like this new way of kumbaya and let's all get the paid, let's all eat equally. No, like let's go out there and fight for what we deserve, right? Imagine we just get catapulted to the top ranks of the podcast and we don't deserve it. Like, I do not sleep well at night knowing that, man, I haven't put in as time as Joe Budden, right? And I'm being celebrated the same as him just because we're part of this network. I haven't even had the resume this guy has, and hustle over everything is up here. I won't even be able to like walk properly amongst the titans of the industry. It feels empty. I haven't earned it. I haven't earned my stripes. We're earning our stripes right now these past 3 years, right? There's going to be a time where like, I deserve to be sitting with you, Joe Budden. I deserve to be sitting with you, Matt Barnes. Yeah. I deserve to be sitting with JJ Redick, academics, who else? Like the top tier guys in the business, because I feel like we have earned it. I'll not go to a network that says, hey, we're going to pay you all the same. I know you have a bigger fan base. But
remember, it's not just, it's for a company. So it's different because they're basing it off inputs and outputs. You know what I'm saying? And not like likeness, external values.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's keep it like that then, right? Let's put 10 hustle over everything lookalikes podcasts.
Okay.
Right? You have hustle.
No, but that's entertainment. So it has to be in the form of a company, because entertainment is different and people shouldn't be valued the same in entertainment because people draw different audiences, different, inputs and outputs that make people gravitate to us versus another, which wants better advertisers, better dollars, better numbers. Mm-hmm. Of course, within a specific company, let's say I am a paper company. Let's keep it very simple. There's the person that does, supply chain management, someone that does, logistic management, or let's say HR, and they are getting paid the same. They say get the same 120. They've been in HR for 10 years versus the one guy's been in it for 5 years, where they all get the same level of above market rate, 30% or whatever above market rate is, with inflation too. So they get raises based on inflation.
I'd say this, it sounds good. It sounds good, right?
It sounds good.
It sounds good. But I think over time, there's going to be a lot of resentment within people who have more experience than the other person, where they're thinking, I know this is above market rate, but man, if I go to company B, I can negotiate more than what I'm getting already right now, right? So I think that means if this lady were to be like saying, I am readjusting if the market rate is this, I'm always going to keep readjusting, so you're always going to be making more than you made last year, I can see how that is feasible, right? But if she just said, yo, you know what, you're going to make 130 for year 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, I want to see what that business is doing in terms of revenue, right? Because that's what's going to dictate if this is actually sustainable.
Yeah. And you're 100% right. I think after 5 years, of being at a company, whatever company she runs, let's say call it company Y, and you see somebody come in fresh off the boat, fresh off whatever, and it's making the exact same money as you, it definitely
triggers you.
It could trigger you.
It triggers you, like a fresh school grad who maybe did a lot of internships, but they've never actually done work that's been compensated. You're like, man, I've been here for 10 years and you're just coming off because you had, let's say it was like a Nike internship.
Yeah.
Just because you had Nike on your resume, now you're the new Nike guy who came from Nike as an intern.
Word.
Now you're immediately going to the number one spot. Now you're starter.
Yeah. Now you're in sales, right?
Yeah.
So imagine somebody, you've worked for X company or Y company for years, building in years of sales experience. And somebody comes in year one making the exact same money as you.
They've never closed deals.
They've never closed a single deal.
They've never made President's Club.
Salary.
Yeah, and then they come in, they're making a same base salary.
I want to see what her business actually is. I think it must be interesting. Let's see what she does. She does.
If it's just like a local, she's hiring 4 people in the store. Okay, dope.
Yeah.
But if you're building a corporation, if this is a corporation that said, hey, all 100 employees are making the same, it's going to mess up the entire market up.
For sure. So I think she just has a podcast.
Just as a pod?
Yeah. So it's probably like that's all I can see. But her following is crazy. She has 1.5 million followers.
On TikTok.
She's
spewing that kind of nonsense.
186,000.
She's spewing this whole, hey, don't work hard, just come in here, kumbaya, and like we're all going to get paid the same.
Yeah. It's a bit weird. And it's giving very Gen Z.
It's giving, bro. You just booked yourself. I think you need a vacation by yourself.
I need a
you need to recalibrate.
Word.
Smoke some cigars, drink some whiskey.
You know Tony Robbins, when he interviewed a dude and he was like, my girl just doesn't respect me. I don't know if you saw the Tony Robbins doc on Netflix.
Not yet.
I need to watch that.
It's actually good.
So funny. It's a funny
Is it giving?
watch.
Is it giving funny vibes? Is it giving funny energy?
Yo, oh my God. Yo, if y'all see me in public and want to make fun of me, come walk up to me and say, yo, bro, it's giving, isn't it? Your podcast is giving.
Yeah, it's giving just like good podcast energy.
Oh my days. So what was I saying? We were talking about, this girl. Her name is Madeline Pendleton. If we're going to talk about it, you might as well give her a shout out.
Shout out to Matskis.
Give me your nicknames.
Maddie Pendleton.
All right. What else we got?
Sounds like she's from Sarnia, bro.
She looks like she's from Sarnia.
She's from my ends.
Where Sarnia has some of the cheapest real estate in the country.
I kind of knew that, but I didn't know it was a top tier.
I was Googling this other day, and today, and I was looking at like, I wonder where the cheapest real estate is in Canada. And Sarnia popped up.
Would you move to Sarnia?
No.
Bro, I think you like Sarnia, man.
Why?
You're very low key. You like the water. You like convenience. I was going to the States. Mm-hmm. Everyone is friendly. Right? Even though you might be like, oh yeah, you're only black, but Sarnia has a lot of multiculturalism now. There's a lot of Indian families, there's Asian families, a lot of Nigerians also live there now because of like the college, right?
What college is there?
Lambton College.
Lambton College, okay.
Yeah, right. So it's a very great city to live in. I mean, my mom was always telling me like, honestly, come back and move to Sarnia. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? Real estate's cheap. You can buy a big house by the water, bro. And you can just drive to Michigan in 10 minutes and get to Detroit in 50 minutes.
So, you know what's interesting? That like Sarnia isn't a bigger city when it's so close to the US. Because Canada as a country is based on adapting to the US. Mm-hmm. Almost every city is like a few miles from the US. Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver is pretty close to the US.
Yep.
So it's like, why? And it's close to a body of water. That's like the 3 main things: being close to the U.S. and bodies of water. Because ports naturally. So I'm like, why isn't all the places closer to the U.S. not booming right now? Like Sarnia, Windsor.
Yeah, the thing is, there's different pockets for different cities. So if you look at a metropolitan like Vancouver, okay, you got Seattle right there, right? You got Boston, Maine area. You got like, I think Newfoundland is over there, right? You got Toronto, you got Buffalo, New York, etc. Sarnia exists in an industrial port. So if you look at Windsor, you look at Sarnia, you look at Leamington, you look at all these different towns in the strip right there, it makes sense that no big city wants to be in like an industrial area to service that. So to build a metropolitan beside Sarnia or make Sarnia metropolitan, it doesn't really make sense because it's a blue collar town. So you need blue collar people living in that area to really work within this thing, right? So you can't put a metropolitan and an industrial area with a lot of fumes, a lot of bad air, and using that to populate a huge city. So that's why, like, in that whole belt, Sarnia, Windsor, Leamington, Chatham, Kent, that whole Lambton County area, it's a designated industrial area with oil, manufacturing, and etc. So smaller towns and communities are going to populate that area because those are the kind of jobs that are available there, right? So and it's actually better for transportation with like having it close to a highway and everything. So with that kind of thinking, I'm seeing it makes sense that the smaller towns with 150,000 to 200,000 people will be living in that kind of thing. Because if you look at Seattle, you look at Buffalo, Toronto, there's no industrial city other than the southwestern region of Ontario.
Gotcha. But I mean, if Seattle has Vancouver, right? And Detroit would have...
But Detroit is also another industrial city too.
Is Seattle an industrial city?
No.
Oh,
See,
okay.
Detroit's a motor city because you had Ford manufacturing. You had that's where all the car plants are at. So to have like quicker manufacturing between like steel and oil and car stuff. Yeah. It makes sense to have it like right there in the net. So to build a metropolitan over there just doesn't make sense.
There's not enough things to develop it with.
Exactly. And you need the land too for space for disposable stuff. You need it for farming. You need it for whatever. So you can't have a metropolitan in every border city. Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think car plants should have stayed open during like the lockdown?
Yeah.
Are they essential services?
They're not essential services, but they are a big economic mover. You know what I'm saying?
It feels like it's late because like how the day's gone.
Yeah, bro. That was a long day today.
Yeah,
that was a long day.
For sure. But I'm happy that Steve
paid.
Well, how much have you paid? But he signed.
I didn't see it. How much is the first payment? Did you have it?
Small as this 360.
360.
Well, I think it's 390. I believe that's higher 3. But they just signed it. They don't think they paid because the payment is due on the 1st of February.
So it's a monthly. It's gonna be 390.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
For 6 months.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely cutting this part out. If you're listening to this, editor, cut it out, please.
Yeah. So, COVID essential.
Yes, bro. I asked you that because I actually want to show you a funny Zoom call video. So check this out. I found this on TikTok. And I thought it was hilarious.
So if you look, we're 0.15% higher than...
Oh my God.
We started this quarter off at 2.75%.
Holy shit.
Daniel, God. I don't think it's... Daniel.
Daniel. Call Nika.
Oh my God.
You call Daniel on his cell. Call Daniel on his cell. How do we turn this scene off? Daniel.
Camera off.
Bro, I've seen this video. And then there's like another guy, he's actually pulling down his pants. You never seen that? The Zoom call pulling down his pants?
Nah.
He's like, he grabs the lotion and everything. That's the original video of this.
Yeah.
This guy is just drinking gin, but the original video, it hit different.
He was about to
like choke the meat, bro. Yeah.
Word.
Just, in a Zoom meeting, you're kind of tired. You're like, dog, I gotta get one off.
Word.
I gotta let it rip.
That's a fact. Those are insane, bro. People have no clue to be doing that. Like, your life's in shambles.
Yeah, bro. The thing is, COVID, you're like stuck indoors the entire day. Sometimes you just need to let it off, bro.
Yeah. For sure, definitely. But you can do it on Zoom calls. Yeah. Like maybe taking a lunch break.
But you know what it is,
taking
bro?
a little 15-minute.
That kind of is a thrill to people. To do it.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. It's a thrill to know that
fact.
I was on, for example, let's say if your boss is Peng, right? And it's a whole Zoom call right there.
Oh God.
You pin her or a guy too. You pin their image, so it's like taking over the entire screen, and they're talking, and you're just rubbing one out to them. Bro, I'm a sicker man, bro.
From experience, my guy. You sound like you.
I'm just tapping in the head of a sicko. Like, what did we be doing just to say, yo, I beat it off to my boss of her talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Would you ever date a girl you're working with?
Never, bro.
Really?
I've had ideas.
Yeah.
But it's just like, imagine we break up. What's gonna happen next?
Switch companies,
or, but bro, if I'm making the 130 at that company, right? Let's say I'm at this Madeline's company, I'm making 130, and then I switch to the next company because I was dating one of the colleagues, and I have to move. Now I'm not getting paid market rate. I kind of effed up my bread. See, that's the thing, right? When you date people, it's just like, think about your bread, think about your money, think about your livelihood, your career. Imagine working at Apple, and then they catch you dating, like, and there's no policy of dating your colleagues, and then you lose your job. How many opportunities like Apple ever come again?
That's a fact.
Right? So you got to think wisely. Sometimes we let people think with their hearts, but they don't think logically.
Yeah.
But that could be a love of your life, though.
No? Is it worth it?
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
You never know. One of my boys actually met his girl at work.
And they're dating. It's like a Jim and Pam.
Yeah, shout out to Danny. I appreciate you, my guy. Danny's a good dude. He's a hilarious white dude.
Have I met Danny before?
You have not. You met another dude named Danny, but not.
Was it the mixer, the producer?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Danny.
He always looks cheesed.
Yeah, but he has a resting mad face.
Yeah, he's like you.
Yeah, exactly. I have a resting mad face.
That's why you guys are buddies.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we go back, But this Danny, he met it. I was working at Banana Republic at the time.
Shout out to BR, man.
Yeah. And then he met his girl, Stephanie, there, and they're married now.
They're married now. So you're saying I could be blocking a blessing?
You never know.
Because there are a couple of places I've worked.
Sorry to cut you off. The thing is how valuable is the job? If you're working part-time,
yeah, that's true.
Hop in the
man.
Jump.
If I was working at Abercrombie or the Source, I worked at the Source, Abercrombie, let's say Good Life Fitness.
One of those joints?
Yeah, of course. I'm easily, because I'm like, I can replace this.
Yeah.
But if it's a career gig, I have to think twice about it.
For sure.
I have to look at the cost benefit analysis. I'm like, okay, she seems wifey. You know those girls, bro? You're like, she's a prospect. She's a prospect.
Yeah.
And you're like, I gotta treat this nice. I gotta take her out to dinner. I gotta woo her. And some girls, you're like, you know what? You deserve like a nice drink date.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go all the way and set up plans to show you the whole world on day one.
Mm-hmm.
There's some girls, man, that I know, I'm not ready to pursue them. But if I was ready, I'd have them. They're like lottery picks for sure, because I see more there. So it begs the question: what defines a prospect towards us? Just like right?
Everyone has their own unique value.
That's true, but you got to look at how long can I sign this person to, that where it's never going to be diminishing returns. Like the more, if I'm with them, it's only going to increase in value over time. So as men, we got to understand when we look at relationships, right?
You know who is a good prospect now?
Who?
Brandon Gomez.
Why is he a good prospect, bro?
He just acquired Now Toronto.
Now the Now Media. The Now Toronto. You know, when I first came to Canada, like when I was taking like those paper dispensaries, Now was free. Yeah. And I was like, wow, like, look, there's paper for free. And me coming from as an immigrant kid, and I'm seeing free newspaper. I'm like, this is so different. The culture shock.
Yeah, it's different, and it's a smart business play.
Why is it smart?
Because you give it away for free, and you get business on the ads. You literally just give it away. You don't have to make money on the front.
How much? Like, okay, so how much did you buy it for?
No one knows. I think it's undisclosed. I don't think they mentioned it.
Because I'm thinking, okay, Brandon Godin is maybe like 600,000. Because if I look at Brandon Godin's company, how much do you think he's making?
A lot. Because he has multiple revenue streams. He has the website. He has YouTube channel. He has brand partnerships outside of that. So I think he can be making a good amount of money.
$1 million?
Yeah, I think he'd be making $1 million off.
So if he's making $1 million, and to acquire Now magazine, which is like a historic platform or media property, it can't not be like, I don't know. I can't make assumptions, right? Because I'm thinking that's definitely like a $2-3 million acquisition based on like its historic place in the city, what it means for the city, how it's trusted, it's reputable. You're paying for that. So if you add a multiplier on that, it's like, let's say 5 million. So maybe he got a loan on something like that, or maybe he went in with another partner who bought 40% of it. He's a majority owner of it, right? So let's say he had a lot of partners and he has majority stake in it. I can see that because he has more leverage more than anyone, right? So I like the play. I like what he's doing with Gonez Media, and this goes to what I was actually talking to you about earlier. It's just like when you're building a media company, especially us building Uplift Media Group, I want it to be a legacy company. My thinking is legacy company, right? There's things that we might do which we might sell off, but I never not want to have a stake in this thing. Even if I move into something else, I want to have, because I feel like the catalog here, the work that we do here, and the properties we develop here are only going to grow in exponential value over time. This work that we're doing here, the recordings, the podcast, the shows, the YouTubes, and everything like that, it's only getting positive ROI in the future. So to let go of all of that and acquire and let it be bought by someone else, I'm like, damn. Unless you're giving me a handsome amount of money, let's say we sell for 200 million, 300 million.
Everyone has a price.
Everyone has a price.
Everyone has a price.
Right? Let's say it's like 50. I mean, 100 million is where I'm going to be. Let's say we're 45, 50.
Someone comes to you tomorrow and says, yo, I have $50 million for you. Hustle over everything. Uplift Media, everything.
50 million?
1.5.
1.5 million.
No, 1.5 million.
15 million. So hustle over everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So I'm thinking.
Yeah, we're going to have a conversation.
So I'm thinking.
You really think about it. You have to like,
Because what is 15 million, bro? The present value of 15 million is 15 million, but the present value, the future value of hustle over everything could be 50 plus million.
You know what's interesting is when Andrew Schultz first made his first Netflix special, he said this special is a $1 million. And he made it like before he popped. I think he saw like 100.
He spoke it into existence.
100K subscribers. And he was like, yeah, this special costs $1 million. You know, and I was like, damn, that feels like a lot of money. But now for you to think of an actual special, like that's
nothing. That's nothing for him. That's pennies. You know? Because his name alone is worth more than $1 million.
For sure. Like if Netflix was to acquire all of Flagrant and Brilliant Idiots, their price probably would go up. Their stock price probably go up. Just from acquiring those two properties. You know. Shout out to Brandon Gonez though. That's a big move.
That's a big move, man. Know? That's a big flex.
I see that as the actual new media space between like having YouTube, social media content being distributed across like in the internet as like the new media for news.
Yeah.
I see that as a new play. I see like National Post trying to create TikToks.
And actually trying to be like the new media.
Yeah.
You know, and like, Draymond Green says the new media.
Yeah.
Like individuals, the new media, bro.
Well, is it?
Think about it.
Not really.
Because if you have like Joe Pompliano, the Huddle Up, the sports and business newsletter, that is the new media, bro.
Yeah, but that's not an individual though. It's still he's still running a company. It's not an individual. Like for instance, let's say like Steph and Dan, like if they're running a news company by themselves, that's like an individual. They're individual YouTubers, yes, but in terms of like a company, like Gonez Media is not an individual. That's a company, bro. You know, like Mr. Beast is not an individual. He's a company, like a creator company.
He has a lot of people working.
He has
behind it.
hundreds of people working for him.
That's true.
You know, so I think it's like a front-facing person or persons, maybe like a few people, but there's not going to be a one-person media team. Nah, fam. It's going to be like
that's true, man.
It's going to be a new one person, 2 people, 3 people facing company, and then the back end is just that coming up. But that's basically, you know, the pendulum swinging. At first, there was a few companies that were starting newspapers, and then it's a few companies starting radio stations, and the pendulum swings. Yeah, we become bigger.
We need to be thinking like Gonez Media, bro.
That's a fact.
Like buying other podcasts, buying other newsletters, even radio, bro. I wanted to be in radio.
So did I.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
People always tell me I had a radio voice.
You do have a radio voice.
Yeah.
You know, that's great, man. You do have a radio personality.
Thank you very much.
More than a podcast personality.
You think so? You think I have more of a radio personality?
I think you're more a radio guy.
Really?
Yeah, because I think you're more dynamic.
What do y'all think? Do y'all agree with this? Do y'all agree with this? Yeah. I want to know what y'all think. Do you think I have a radio personality more than a podcast personality?
Yes.
What's the difference between a podcast personality versus a radio personality?
I think a radio personality has a lot of up and downs. I'm more of a podcast personality, right?
Interesting.
You have a lot more valleys and peaks in conversation, right? And I think that's what radio does. It's like, you know, I can never get as energetic as you in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? So you ever notice, like, if I ever study you, I was like, I'm listening to
no,
like,
you're a lot more mellow.
And a lot more
even keel.
More even keel. And then you're like, you can spike up and you can come back down.
Yeah.
You can spike up again and you can laugh really loud. I can't laugh really loud. It's not me.
But then
on a show. But
take it in though. I feel like it's the opposite, because with radio you need consistency. You know what I'm saying? On a radio show, you need to be like, hi, how's it going? XYZ, and it's consistent. And like everyone's predicting and building that around your consistency. And this guy's like, hey, you're tuning into G98.5. And you know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying? like those guys that like have those specific emphasis every time.
It's every time, yeah.
Thing. So, or those guys that are calm, like, you're now tuning into
6.9.
5. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, yeah.
And yeah, I feel like you're more like consistent where people are tuning in every time for that consistency. Whereas with podcasts, it's like you never know what you can get. So a spiker might be better for podcasts.
That's such a great way to look at it. Yeah.
Because
I've always had that like late night kind of chatty kind of thing. Like dark. We've always said this late night type of show. Make it moody, purple lighting. You hear that? Right?
Keep going.
Make it moody, make it whatever, and create content like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I think we both have the personalities for both platforms. And, yeah.
Most definitely. This works towards wrapping up. Hustle what you had control, so control your grind and control your life. Peace.